morning, Signature Agents, and welcome to our weekly office meeting. It's a little sparse in here today, but we're going to liven it up. First of all, does anybody have any wants and needs? Have a listing they need to sell? Tanya.
Good morning. I have a listing it's a one-bedroom, one-bath condo in Chateau Nouveau. It is located right by the pool, the cabanas, the barbecue area. It's really nice. And the clients that I have are from Canada, so they've only used the unit like 2 months out of the year for the last few years. And it's a great unit, fully furnished. Just dropped the price from $250 to $240. So let me know if you have a buyer.
Thank you. Anybody else have something they need or want to sell or buy?
All right, so we got one going live on Thursday out in Cadence. It's just under 2,200 square feet, single story, 4 bed, 3 bath, and that's going to be coming on the market at $550. Of course, all the way in the back.
Denise. Well, you have to stand up and be on camera.
The camera's behind me. I've got one in Southern Highlands, 2-story, 2,160 square feet, 4 bedroom, 2.5 a bath, across from the park for $465.
Oh, you go, girl. Anybody else have a want or need? Steve.
We've got one out in Sun City, Anthem, 3050 Hickory Valley Road. It's a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, 1-story, obviously, 2-car garage on a corner lot. And we had it listed at $475. We just reduced the price to $460. We had a low ball offer over the weekend. The seller came down to $430. It was not accepted. So I can tell you there's a big gap in what they will take or what they won't take. But we'd love to have an offer from you. It's also available for open house. If you know where Volunteer Boulevard is out there in Anthem, it's one turn and then you're on a corner. So it's a great location for signage and all that too. We'd love to have an open house out there. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? No other wants or needs? Okay, I got some stuff going on. I want to tell you, first of all, thank you to everyone who purchased raffle tickets for our breast cancer luncheon. Excuse me, my allergies are killing me. We made a total of $4,355 just from the raffle. So thank you very much. So we have a lot going on. First of all, today, right after the office meeting, but to give you time to get a cup of coffee, at 11 o'clock, we have a special program brought to you by Ryan from Tycor Title called Scary Stories, Scams and Frauds. And you will want to be here to find out what's going on because there is a lot of scams going on right now. And if you're sitting at home watching this on your computer in your jammies, you still have time to get here. Class starts at 11 today. Okay, so much for today. Tomorrow is our quarterly award luncheon. It's by invitation only, so if you were invited, you've received an invitation. Friday, 10:30 at the M, VLVR General Membership Luncheon, and a CE class afterwards. Reservations are finished, but if you made a reservation, I have reserved 2 tables for signature. First come, first serve. And then Tuesday, October 24th, a really great meeting at office meeting at Green Valley with Brian Gordon from Applied Analysis. Now, you have access to all the Applied Analysis charts and data on your single sign-on. But if you don't know that it's there or what he has to offer every month, you really need to tune into this class. Thursday, October 26th, 5 o'clock is that Thursday or Wednesday? October 26th. At Green Valley, Trunk or Treat. And last I heard, if you have little ones, we have 23 cars participating, so that is phenomenal. And then Monday through Friday, October 30th to November 3rd, 8:30 to 5, Monday through Friday, Brandon's last Signature Real Estate Academy of the year. It's totally free. The only thing it's going to cost you is a full 5-day commitment to be here. So if you want to go and attend, RSVP on the app with Brandon. And that's all I have for upcoming events through the end of October. And now I'm going to turn it over to Jason with a mortgage moment from Prosperity Lending.
Thank you, Janet. Good morning, everyone. Hope everybody's having a great morning. So, since we all know that rates are horrible, we have to be thinking outside the box and come up with some different ideas. One change that's not so horrible is that conventional financing now is working with 2-plex, 3-plexes, and 4-plexes, and they're only asking for 5% down, and this is huge. Reason why, it used to be 15 to 25% down for a property like this, so it was a little bit of a tough down payment. And you had FHA out there. FHA would just go 3.5% down, so why go conventional, especially if it's 15 to 25% down? Well, FHA had a rule that really didn't matter back when rates were 2 and 3%, that matter a whole bunch now. It's called self-sufficiency. And what self-sufficiency basically means is, let's say you get a 4-plex, and let's say that thing's gonna get about $1,000 a unit. We'll call it $3,000 for the full units. As long as that rent matches the monthly payment, no big deal, you're fine, you pass self-sufficiency. But what if rates are 8%, and now the monthly payment's $5,000 a month, and you're still collecting the same $3,000? Well, now it doesn't hit self-sufficiency, and what that means is that the borrower would have to put down enough money to bring the monthly payment down to $3,000, which totally blows up the FHA plan, because if you're putting 3.5% down, it's not gonna work. You have to put closer to 15 to 25% down, just like conventional. So 2, 3, and 4-plexes were hurting, for sure. But we're hoping starting November 18th when this starts, that's going to change, because conventional does not have the self-sufficiency test. And that is the biggest deal of all for this whole thing. Let's go to the next slide. So, some examples. Home cost, $400,000, 2-unit property. They were putting about $80,000 down back then. And now they only have to put about $20,000 down, saving your potential buyer $60,000 to invest in other things. Same for 3 to 4-unit properties. $600,000 4-plex, $150,000 down payment, $30,000 now, saving about $120,000 in cash. That's not good. Okay. Well, we missed the slide. Okay, so we'll do the real life scenario just with me telling you, basically. So, let's say you have a situation where you have somebody that says that my entire monthly payment I can afford is $1,900 a month. It's all I can buy, basically. It's all I'm qualified for. With the lovely interest rates and the way the market is right now, that's gonna get you a house right around $200,000. Something somebody told me just earlier is they're like, hey, 4-plexes are in bad neighborhoods and they're not exactly the nicest places right now. Well, $200,000 condos are kind of the same thing. Would we agree? About the same thought? And that's gonna get you $1,900 a month. Say you get a $600,000 condo. Penciled it out, and what you would have saw on that display there is that it's about $5,500 a month is what we were figuring out for a payment. Say you only get $1,200 per unit. That totals up to about $3,600 a month. Minus $5,500 from $3,600, you get $1,900 a month. So is it in a bad neighborhood? Probably. Is it not so nice? Probably. But it's also a good chance it's gonna be nicer than the condo that you were gonna buy for $200,000. And it's an investment opportunity that if it just so happens that you decided to move out of that 4-plex and live somewhere else, now you have a 4-plex as a rental, which is a much better opportunity than a condo, for what would net out at the exact same payment of $1,900 a month. So it's a way to get people into a much, much more expensive property for the same monthly payment. Now, anybody in the room, can you tell me if you get paid a little bit more on a $600,000 deal than a $200,000 deal? Usually. Okay, good. So that would be the highlight for us, basically, is if we can get somebody in the exact same payment, get an investment opportunity for them, and get a commission on a $600,000 property, better for everybody. So now we move to the next slide that actually is showing up, so that part's good. So let's see here. I think this is the written out version of it since I'm off kilter here now. Okay, so the sum up basically of why this matters is that if you had those investment people before that were trying to put a low down payment out there, they weren't going to get it, basically, is the truth. You had to put up a significant down payment. If you need to have somebody that wants to move into an investment property, they have to live in the 2, 3, or 4-plex. It's much more manageable is the sum up to this. And again, we have to get a little bit more creative right now. When payments are going up exponentially, we have to figure out a way to cut into that. If we can get them the same property and have renters that are paying into those payments, doesn't matter as much what their interest rate is. And then obviously, if things ever get better, they can start refinancing the thing. Let's go to the next one here. So this is pretty much the sum up here of everything. Does anybody have any questions on that? Interest rates suck. There's no doubt about it. They're up again another 0.10 today on the 10-year Treasury. We can get into the finance part later, but I only get 5 minutes and this will take 30. I do think that we've hit the bottom, though, believe it or not. I think that this is our very last quarter of bad and that we're about to level and that we're about to see something better in the first and second quarter. But we can get into that another time. Any questions on any of this stuff? I'm hoping you guys... It has to be owner-occupied for 5% down. It absolutely does. But there are a million reasons why it can be owner-occupied is the good news. Go for it, Steph. And that was the last part, is that anybody that has kids, what we have is I have a friend that lives in Florida. He has a kid that's 17, a kid that's 15, and a kid that's 13. He can co-sign and have the kid live there and have all of their kids live there too. And that's how he's going to set up free dorm room financing, basically, and have investment properties. Every single one of his kids, he gets to call that a primary resident because he's a co-signer. So this is a wonderful thing for family, kids, etc. Like I said, there's a million reasons. If you have that person that wants to invest and wants to make their house into something a little bit more, this is a golden opportunity for them, is really, especially if they have family that wants to move into things. Yeah. What do you mean? Of course. Of course, absolutely. We can make a pretty one for sure. I made that one super fast when I found out I was speaking. Yes, I made that one yesterday and pulled it together. But okay, except I missed the slide. But other than that, yeah, for sure. But yeah, no, we can definitely make one for you, and we'll make it nice and polished and pretty. Cool. All right, guys. Thanks for your time.
Give it up for Jason. Anything else, Janet?
Nope.
Reminder about the class of 11.
Reminder about the class at 11. Why is that so loud? That's not me. Anyway, so today we have a treat for you. I hope it's a treat. And Vanina is here with me to talk about business creation. So give a round of applause to Vanina for being here. So Brandon asked me to remind everybody that we're heading into business planning, and the most important part about having a plan is understanding where am I going to get business from. And so today we are going to share with you our version of those special places that we forget about. Now, who remembers being a brand new real estate agent? Who in that group is a brand new real estate agent? The nice thing about being new is you have no bad habits and you're willing to get business from anywhere. But unfortunately, after 20 years in the business, you start to form some bad habits and you get a little bit lazy and you decide there are things you're not going to do anymore. And that's when you go broke. And so today we're going to talk to you about all the things that you forgot you should be doing and should know about. So first off, did anyone watch the Tom Ferry business planning video that he put out across the nation? Anybody? Anybody? One person? One person? Man. This is going to be good stuff then. So Tom did a video, and he said the worst mistake that real estate agents make is they call previous customers past clients. He said the problem is it's a mindset issue because it tells you that they're not important to you anymore because you sold them a house, and then you put them into a classification that said they're a has-been. They has been important to you at one time. The problem is you would never go to anyone else in an industry that sells somebody something or provides them a service and call the customer a past client. Have you ever been to your doctor's office and they're like, oh my God, Chris, our past client is here, right? They never say that. Have you ever been to an attorney and he's like, oh my God, my past client from 25 years ago is here. They don't treat you like that. When you come in, my dentist still has those file folders, you know, in the back of the office. And it doesn't matter how long it's been since I've been there, they go and pull the same folder out and they treat me the same way that they did the first time that I came into the office. And so Tom Ferry's suggestion is that we no longer treat, refer, or context our clients as past clients, but as customers. The other thing he said in the video, which is really interesting, and I'll put the video in our Facebook page after so you can see it, is that we don't treat our clients like they're going to be with us forever. We kind of treat them like a high school relationship. We meet, we get really excited, right? And we have a great time together for about 30 days, and then we break up and we never talk to each other again. And that's really how it goes for most customers with real estate agents. Why do open houses work? Say again? Do they? Open houses usually work because real estate agents don't talk to clients after they sell them something. So they start driving around in their car and they find a property and they meet an agent, and that agent makes a connection point, and that person is somebody's past client. It's pretty common for that to happen. And so the whole point of it is to start the relationship and keep them in a series of context and information. What do you think? What did you get from it?
I agree.
You're going to expand on that?
Nope.
Okay. I'm so glad you're here.
No, I do agree. So what happens is when you, NAR actually put out a survey that said that there's so many people that say that they would use their real estate agent again if they had the opportunity, but they just don't because they have no idea who the real estate agent is. Once they have sold the property, they're gone. Yep. They never communicate with the client again. They never call, they never email, they never nothing. And they don't even remember their name after 3 years when they're ready to sell that property or go buy something different or go buy an investment property. And so it's important that we continuously stay in touch with our SOI, our ride or dies, our NFUs, whatever you want to call them, our VIPs, blah, blah, blah.
So one of the examples he had in this was a real estate agent. I believe they were in like somewhere in the Midwest where you would have a shed and it's not weird. And they had a shed full of basically like Party City. Like it was stocked full of party supplies and stuff for an event. And their clients could go to the shed at any time. I know this sounds weird, but just stick with me for a second. And they could open it and they could take from it whatever they needed to host a birthday party or an anniversary party or anything that would help them in that process. And the agent kept that shed stocked all year long. And it became a service that the clients looked forward to. Another example they had was a moving truck. This real estate agent had a moving truck that her clients would host. By the way, we did this once as a company, not here, but at another company I was at. The moving truck was in a lot of accidents. And so I'm not saying that that's the best thing, but it was the service aspect of the thought that the client saw you as more as someone who just opened up houses. You were someone that was their life source for everything to do with the life that they're establishing and the property that they live in. And so, go ahead.
Can you imagine if they called you to use your moving truck and then didn't actually use you to buy the house?
Yeah, that would be awkward,
That's
wouldn't it?
not going to happen.
What about if they hosted a party and didn't invite me?
Right. Can you imagine that? Yeah.
All right, so the other thing he said in there, and this is the one that stuck for me in the market that we're in, who here has clients with equity in their property right now? Okay, so 60% of the properties in Southern Nevada have some type of equity.
Do the rest of you not have clients?
Yeah. And it's substantial equity. It's like over 6 figures. And so usually what happens is you send your client some type of random text message or you send them a postcard and it says, go to this website to get a value of your home. That's real enticing, right? And the thought process is, what if you treated it like a financial planner? What if you treated it like your investment broker where they tell you what your portfolio value is every month, and when they do it in a pretty formal statement. And so Tom's advice to real estate agents is to do equity updates for your clients where in a professional manner, in a portfolio type setup, you send them a package explaining the equity value in their home and how they can use it for an opportunity. Meaning that if I find out that you have $150,000 in your home and I send you an amazing prospectus of how that property value has changed and what you bought the property at and where your interest rate value is compared to the interest rate values now, and I do all of that, and then I give you some examples of how you can leverage the equity to increase your wealth, would that entice you more about selling your home versus just some random, here's your crap AVM value of your house? And so his point is that if you invested more time in that, you'd probably get more business from it. And right now we would all agree that if we had more listings, we'd have a better business, right?
And you did this on an annual basis, so every single year at the same time, they would be expecting this from you at some point, and you would be every year, this is where you're at. This is what, your equity, whether they sell today or they sell in a year or they sell in 3 years, they're going to know that they're going to get this from you continuously. The other thing is that you can take that one step further, and once you've actually delivered or hand delivered a packet to them or sent it to them, or even before you've done that, you can do a video CMA that is very similar where you can show them from, and it's kind of a cool concept starting from Google Earth, from outside of Earth, having it zone into their home, and then showing them on the MLS, here's your property, here's the tax records, this is what it shows, the community that you're in, the square footage that you have in your home, the bedrooms, bathrooms, and here's all, and have it all ready to go and prepped to go, and here's all the homes that qualify that would be comparable to yours. And so based off of that, here's what I'm looking at, and here's a potential net sheet for you that shows this is how much you have in equity. This is what you could be walking away with. Would that be something that enticed you? It's a little bit more of your personality. It's a little bit more of your FaceTime with your client. And also, nobody's really doing it.
Yeah. So who here was in the market in 2005 and 6? Do you guys remember when clients would take out equity lines of credit? Okay, don't go back to those horrible memories, but do you remember when they would take out equity lines of credit out of the primary residence and they would go and buy an investment property? And that's how they expanded their wealth potential. Now, the problem was they took money out of that primary residence and they bought 30 properties. They couldn't qualify for any of them, right? And it was just the hope that the equity would go up. Well, the difference was it was a great plan for the wrong reasons. If I took $50,000 out of my primary residence and I bought an investment property that penciled a positive cash flow, why wouldn't I do that if I can afford the payment? And a lot of times you got to remember too, salaries in some places have increased. Bonuses are being paid to employees. And what usually happens when an employee gets a bonus? It's a wild night in Las Vegas, right? What usually happens is they look for an investment to put it into, and the only person talking to them is their investment banker. The person saying, hey, put this in your 401k, hey, put this in your investment account. If the real estate agent was the same person talking to them saying, hey, why don't we go out and look for a fourplex that you can buy in a perfect setup for your kid to go to college, and instead of paying $18,000 a year per semester in student housing, let's put that in your investment portfolio. It's just the whole idea that if you're telling them these things, they're more likely to do it because you're thinking of it.
So I was actually on a coaching call this morning, and I asked one of the clients, "Hey, where are you at as far as your clients? How many clients have you had in the last 5 years, right?" And somewhere between like 100 and whatever. I said, "How often do you stay in touch with them?" "What am I supposed to be doing?" "Well, stay in touch with them. What do you do? How many times do you reach out to them?" So, quick question for you: how many of you here have clients? I'm looking at you. Your hand's not raised. Everybody in here has clients. Every single,
My hand's still up.
I know. Everybody in here has clients. So of those people, how many of you communicate with your clients still? Okay. How many of you communicate with them annually a minimum of 20 times? Okay, let me start smaller then. How about we go 5? How many of you at least connect with them 5 times a year? 10? 15? Keep your hands up if you're still at 20? 25?
No, that's too much.
30? 35? 50? I mean, I'm not talking about like a home bot, but actually like the no. Okay. So realistically, I communicate with my clients 76 times a year. Wow. 76
You're like part
times.
of the family.
Yeah, because I actually counted in preparation for this. But I am happy to share that with you. Do you guys want to know?
Yes.
Anybody want to know? Anybody care? Does anybody not want to know? Okay, good. So let's talk about 76 touches. 52 weekly newsletters. That's once a week. 52 weeks, 52 newsletters. Those are done every single week. My assistant helps put them together, and they're sent out. They have a Friday favorite, which is a property. Depending on the price point that I want to be in, it's a video that I've recorded that is on YouTube already, so it provides them access to my YouTube. It has some of my social media. It's got a nonprofit, my nonprofit of the month that I love, that I'm working with, and then it has events throughout Las Vegas. And then there are 12 communications throughout the year, either text, call, note card, or a boomerang coupon. And then there's 6 client appreciation events. Pay attention here to what I'm saying. One of them is Thin Mints, which I do in March. Another one is the Easter egg hunt, which, by the way, the company puts on for you. Another one is some form of event, something fun, whether it's a movie or ice skating or something like that. A trunk or treat, which the company puts on for you. Gingerbread houses, which is an event that I do at the end of every year. And then paper and pancakes, which the company puts on for you. That's 6. One surprise CMA, which is an annual real estate evaluation. One tax valuation call, which is also an email that goes out with a video that I've recorded. A birthday video, phone call, text, note card. An anniversary gift. An annual concierge list update, which is the update of all of the vendors that I utilize throughout the year. And every year they get an update that says, hey, I have checked in with all of my clients who have used these vendors over the last year. I've made sure that I have their business licenses, they've got the proper permits and so on and so forth. And this is the list of people. This is I got a guy list, right? The concierge list. It's a little bit more classier when I call it a concierge list. And then the VGK calendar once a year that goes on their fridge.
Talk about the gingerbread house, because that is one of my favorite things.
I'm not telling you. It's my secret.
Well, I'm pretty sure I shared it with you at some point.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I probably
shared it
did.
with you, and then you were like, hey,
No,
I have
no,
an
no.
idea. And I was like, it's mine.
All right, then I'll tell them about it.
No, I'll
So-
tell them about it. You stop it. So every year we do gingerbread house competition for our clients. By the way, this is being recorded for you. It's on YouTube already. You can find it there. Just FYI. All right. So the gingerbread house competition, we go by gingerbread houses for all of our clients, all of them. Whether they have kids or they don't, it doesn't matter. We've got clients that are adults that love doing this. It is a plain, basic gingerbread house that we get from Costco or Sam's Club or somewhere else. And every year we send it out in a bag that has all the instructions on it, the competition requirements, whatnot. And the idea is for them to decorate it and then submit those decorated gingerbread houses via social media, tag the team member that provided them the gingerbread house as well as the team. And then depending on how many likes and shares they get points to win. So now I've got social media active, specific for the agent, the team, the gingerbread house. It's something that that my clients look forward to every single year. It's probably one of the most expensive things that I do, but it is something that they look forward to. And then at the end of it all, there are 3 winners. One of them is the team's favorite. So everybody on the team gets together and says, hey, I like this one the most, and here's why. And we do sort of an anonymous whatever. And whoever wins that gets the team favorite award. Then we have a social media award, which is they get an award for, and by the way, they're gift cards for winning. So it's a gift card to Amazon or Southwest Airlines or wherever they choose. And then the social media award is for the one who wins the most amount of likes and shares and follows and blah, 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 blah because of it. And then the third one is a Best of Las Vegas, which is the client's friends go on to the team website that takes them to a form. And then that form, they have all of the gingerbread houses that were submitted. And then those gingerbread houses are then clicked on and voted on. And then they get sort of a Best of Las Vegas Gingerbread House award from everybody that's out there. So they then again get an opportunity to social media this so that they can get people back to the website.
So what I love about this is that this is good, wholesome family fun that everyone can get involved in, right? And so there are multiple examples for different federal holidays that you can utilize. I have another friend who does holiday wreaths. And so they send out holiday wreaths, which you can buy at Costco in bulk, and they have the clients decorate them, and then they donate them for a silent auction for charity. And so they have everyone bid on it, the whole thing. I've seen it done with holiday trees, where Todd got me on that, by the way. They would do them in the offices and things like that. The other thing you can do is for Easter, they had one for ugly eggs, like the ugliest egg someone could possibly make, and without breaking it, right? And so all of these are examples of how you can engage a group of people continuously to promote you and your team without saying, this is my realtor, right? It's just the idea that they're talking about. Tanya, you have a question?
I want to say, sorry, 2 seconds. I want to say that last year, I think we did about 500 gingerbread houses is what we sent out. And not everybody participates, I know, but it's the whole team. Everybody participates, and it's really, here's who. What the team started doing, originally when we started, we were probably at 150, and then the following year we went to 300, and then everybody started asking their clients, hey, is this something that you want to participate in? So now that they're involved. Now, not everybody submits entries. Some people just do it for fun, and I've gotten clients that have said, hey, we're not submitting this, but we want you to know this is probably our favorite tradition every single year. I have started a tradition for our clients, and that's the key here. is that they now look forward to it every year, whether they submit it online or they submit it to us directly or whatnot. They have a tradition now. Go ahead.
What kind of prizes?
So usually it's about, so it depends on because they're all three the same. So it's $250 for Amazon or Southwest Airlines or Target or wherever they want, honestly, wherever they want. And then we just send it to them. So once they've won, we say, hey, what gift certificate do you want or gift card do you want? And then we give $250.
Can you imagine being the Girl Scout that she buys 500 Thin Mints from? You probably won the contest, right?
No, we did more last year and the year before.
I want to sign up for that one.
Yeah, and it's so much fun too, and it's like a cheesy message that goes out that says, you know, no matter how the cookie crumbles, like you're my favorite client or something cheesy.
That's pretty good. All right, second thing I got from this last year of all of the different real estate coaches and people you listen to, if you're looking for listings, the number one source of listings for each of these coaches in a different way is circle prospecting. So let me quickly explain for everyone's context, what is circle prospecting? Circle prospecting is where I see a listing. It doesn't have to be my listing, by the way. So I'll take Vanina, for example. Vanina has listed an amazing home. It's $700,000, 4 bedrooms, 3 baths. It's a perfect property, and she's marketed the heck out of it with great photos and everything else. I go and I get a list of people that live around that property. And I don't even mean the same subdivision. I mean they live in the same area as the home. And I get on the phone and I start talking to them about this amazing property that was listed in the neighborhood. Now, I'm not talking to her client. I'm not talking to anyone that is in her sphere. I'm talking to the people around this property that may see the signs or they may see it online or they care about the neighborhood. And I'm engaging them in conversation to get them to open up about the fact they're either looking to buy or sell, or they may be looking to move in the next 6 months to a year. And the whole point about it is it's very, very easy to get lists of people in neighborhoods that are looking to transition. Even our title company reps will tell you that they're able to take those lists and put them into separate analytics and tell you certain things about it. And I'm gonna give you 2 examples that I just found out. One is I've gotten the most likely seller list. Now, my question was, why are they a most likely seller? Well, something in their life happened. Marriage, birth, death. They are transitioning. There's something that clicks up on a website somewhere. The analytics show that this person maybe has an equity position that makes sense for them to sell. They give you that list, and you can go in and get the list for any neighborhood in town. And some of them have phone numbers and email addresses. The other list, I was curious because my best land clients were clients who have owned the piece of land for over 35 years. It seems like I find that person that has held on to it and paid the taxes and not sold it. And they've been through the highs and lows of the real estate market. And now finally, after 30 years, they meet me. I was able to get a list from title of all of the properties within an area that have been owned for over 30 years by the same owner and haven't transitioned to anybody else. And so, just for an example, if you're looking for listings or properties, this is a great way to prospect. And if you have a dialing system, many times you can get them in a, is it CV file? CVS file, and you can upload them into your dialer. CSV file. And you're able to make those calls through a dialer continuously. Now, one other thing I want to say on this, if you're going to do circle prospecting, do not call them once and never call again, because that's the same thing you do to past clients, right?
We're not calling them that.
We're not calling them that, but that's what they were when you only called them once. The whole point of this is for you to make an annual major impact in their life, and what I would think is that if I call you in a neighborhood and now I find out you live in a home that you own, you have a phone number, you give me your email address, the whole intent is that I'm gonna build a relationship with you over a series of touches. So if I called you once every other month and I started building that relationship, how long would go by before you feel that there's some connection point that I'm your agent of choice? At least I'm the one talking to you. And so that's my point with these. Don't call them once, make it a part of your daily process.
So, are you done with that?
I'm done with that.
Okay, so moving on.
But I reserve the right to come back to it.
Okay. So one of the other things that I find really interesting too is on anytime something happens with a client of mine in a transaction or otherwise, I use it as a learning lesson for my clients. For instance, I had a client that purchased a home in 2020. What happened in 2020? Pandemic, right? People were getting sick from COVID. Unfortunately, that client 6 months later passed away. Guess what she did not have? she did not have a trust. And so it is now imperative that every year I follow up with my clients and say, hey, just wanted to check in with you and see where are you at as far as a trust is concerned. Have you met with an attorney? Do you need somebody to meet with in regards to it? How can I help you? Because again, when I've got this type of a story, because it took us 1.5 years to sell that house, by the way, because there was no trust in place. 1.5 years to sell it. And so that is a lesson for my clients that please don't do this to your families. Don't do this for yourself. Know what, and a trust is not just about the home. It's about so many other things. Please meet with an attorney in reference to it. I'm not giving them legal advice. I'm telling them that they should have a consult with someone who knows about this stuff and why it's important based off of an incident that happened with a client. So every time something happens with a client that can be a learning lesson for my clients, all of them, I make sure that they know about it.
Okay, I'm going to go in a different direction. Who here likes to tour property? Funny, right? That's a great question for real estate agents. I remember asking new agents why you got in the business, because I like to look at homes. What I find happens is that real estate agents get in the business, and because you're showing property to clients, you stop going to houses you don't make money from. And so what I want to bring up to you is that it is a positive impact for your business for you to tour new home projects. For 2 reasons. Number one, you're able to get inventory information that is firsthand that you might find things out about that you can't get on the company's website because they haven't updated yet. Second reason is there are buyers who go to new home sites, and they usually aren't buying the home they're touring. They're just out looking around because they're thinking about buying. And so I would always go to new home sites with my name badge on and pick up people. Okay, it's not
He's not
kinky.
telling you to solicit at new home sites. That's not what he's saying.
But they would always look over and say, are you a real estate agent? And I would say, why, yes, I am. And usually what would happen is, of course, I'm not going to pick up on the sales rep's client, but as I walk out of the new home community with these group of people and they see my name badge and everything else, they always will ask me, do you know of any great deals somewhere? And that's my in to actually convert them as clients. Here's the other thing that's cool at new home sites. There's new home sales reps there. And funny enough, what usually happens for them, they're not realtors in many cases, and they don't list property for sale. And so when the client comes in excited to buy a home, if that company doesn't have a relationship, they may see you, if you're there consistently, and you ask them, wouldn't it be great to have a list of 50 new home sales reps in your database that you market to on a regular basis? You're sending them properties that are out there, you're telling them about how you can help, and you're letting them know, I would love to be your resource. I know 2 agents right now in our marketplace that are top producers, that they made relationships with new home sales reps and it put them to the top of their companies. And so the only thing it takes is you communicating with that sales rep on how you can help them in the service you provide. Funny enough, new home sales reps don't stay in one place for long, right? So they usually transition to other projects and other value, and if they see you as that person, they're going to share that with you. The other thing is, if you are the neighborhood expert in a community where you list a lot of homes, wouldn't it make more sense that you're the first person to view every listing in that neighborhood that comes on the market? So if I work Sycamore Estates, for instance, which is a community that I did work many times, I marketed to them, I sent mailers to them. Every time a new listing would come on the market in that community, it was my goal to be the first person to view it and to make sure that everyone knew, the listing agent included, that I wanted to be able to talk about this property for my circle prospecting for everyone's value. And so I'm just putting it out there that it's not a bad thing to tour property. One last piece to that. If you're going to go and list a property and you know the seller's biggest hangup is the price of the house, why wouldn't you tour the other listings for sale so that you can say, I've actually been in the house where they haven't? You can get information on it, you can show it to them, but it's a good way to combat values.
And it's probably a really great thing to have on a newsletter if you plan on sending out.
Good idea.
Yeah.
Write that on my list.
So if people are going to new home sites, the only way you can actually put in your newsletter is if you have the information from the new home site to put in your newsletter. The other thing you can do is start working with your lender. And actually, there you are, lenders. Raise your hand in the room. Where are you? Where are you? See? You start working with your lenders and actually creating videos that make sense for the consumer. What are they going to learn from this particular video? Is it about a specific home? Is it about, and here's the thing, a lot of people are visual. I'm a visual person. You put stuff in paper in front of me, I'm like, let me see it. I want to see it. Like I want to touch it, I want to feel it, I want to, all the things. So if you can go to a fourplex community or a fourplex and say, take for instance, this particular property is currently up for sale. Here's what the price is. Here's what they're getting for rent every single month from each one of these units. This is what it's going to bring in. Here's an amazing loan program that would work for you to purchase this. You are now giving them a solution to a problem they didn't even know they had. That's the key here, is to find solutions for problems they didn't even know they had. Do you know that we help, and I talked about this when I was here last on the sales meeting, we help people build wealth through real estate. That's what we do. Some people don't even know that they can build wealth that way. It's your job to teach them. It's your job to say, hey, I've got this investment opportunity that might really work for you. What are the chances of us working on this together? You think they're going to use another realtor?
Better not.
Right. It's kind of like the whole truck thing, the moving truck thing, right? They're going to use your moving truck and they're going to hire you. If you bring them an investment, hopefully they're going to hire you because you've brought the value. That's what you're doing. You're bringing value to your clients. I'm done with that. You can
Cool.
go.
Okay, show of hands. Who is not from Las Vegas originally? Wow.
Sweet.
That's awesome. Okay, so all the time people say, oh, work absentee owners. Well, because they're absent and they're hard to find, right? Here's how this works, and this is, to me, real estate gold. I've had 2 or 3 people do it, and it actually does work. So in the MLS tax record, if someone buys a property here in Las Vegas and they receive their mail somewhere else, you can actually search in the tax record for out-of-state owners. If you don't want to do that because you don't like the MLS tax system and searching it, you probably can get information from your local title company on out-of-state owners. The whole point is making a connection because you're from where they're from. And so if, let's say that you're from Madison, Wisconsin, and you know how bad the snow is, and you know how hard it is to get in and out of the area, and you go in and you find all of the properties here in Las Vegas that are owned from someone who lives in Madison, Wisconsin, and let's say that you start reaching out to those people and you're like, hey, you don't know me, but I'm a fellow Wisconsineer. I don't know if that's the thing.
Is that a real?
I don't know,
Okay.
but I'm going to use it. And I'm just
so would
reaching out.
people from Alabama be
Yeah.
Alabamers?
There you go. And so you're reaching out
welcome.
and you're making a connection point. You're like, hey, listen, I know you don't know me, but we're from the same city. We probably run into each other. And I'm reaching out because I live in Las Vegas and I'm a Las Vegas real estate agent. And I know you have this property here and I just want to see, have you had any thoughts or desires to sell it? And if not, that's great. I just like to reach out and become your resource. Now, there's another way to do this in reverse, and this is kind of scary. You now have their address back in Madison, Wisconsin, and it's likely because you're from there that you might want to go home, but you can never go home again. But you may want to go home for like a weekend or something like that. How impactful would it be if you knocked on their door and said, you don't know me?
That's some creepy stuff right
Right?
there. That's creepy.
But just think about it.
That is creepy.
You don't know me, but I'm a Las Vegas real estate agent, and I'm reaching out to see about your auto's home warranty information or whatever. Your automotive warranty, right?
I'm trying to sell you solar.
Yeah, but I'm reaching out. I'm reaching out because I want to introduce myself and show you the links I'll go to help you sell your property. Yes, you also get to write off that trip because you're showing property. No, but the whole point is, I've had agents do it both ways, and both ways have resulted in listings because they had no resource, and because you found common ground, because you had something in common with them, they listed that property with you. Or at least when they were going to buy something else or do something else, there was a reason behind it. So I'm just putting it out there, and by the show of the room, there's a lot of cities that we can impact and find listings that other agents aren't thinking about.
So I will piggyback on that, not the knocking on people's door and being creepy about it and stuff, but what you can do is you can also send these people what if you've ever read Ninja Selling. Anyone? Yeah, 8x8s. Everybody knows about 8x8s. What is it? Oh, come on. 8 touches over the course of 8 weeks. Specific to, What? Tyson gets an orange. Throw it at him. All right. So 8 touches over the course of 8 weeks. What if you sent them something every single week for the next 8 weeks after you've done that original touch to the Wisconsinner, and said, hey, here's a You know, here's something you should know about the Vegas market. Here's something, and every week you, in some way, whether it's a text or an email or a phone call or a note card or a letter or, you know, something from the title company. So let me go back really quickly to title company. So I finished that thought. Now I'm moving to the next one. Is that with the title companies, they've got these things called seller guides and buyer guides. You guys familiar with that?
Yep.
And so in these seller guides and buyer guides, there's some real information in there that you can use and send to your clients with a little note that's on there, like a sticky note that says, thought this would be helpful for you as you think about selling your home or consider selling your home. And you do this over the course of 8 weeks, they're going to eventually call you and say, how do I get you to stop? And then you're going to say, sell your house. So it's just an opportunity to go, and you can take that further. You can do 10 touches over the course of 10 months, you can do, or 10 weeks, you can do however many you want. But the point here is that you are constantly communicating with people, and you are reminding them you're in real estate and that you're the resource for them, not some other random person that they just met at a bar. Unless you're the bar.
That's you on the bar.
Unless it's you in the bar. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so let's talk about corporate business for a second. All of your clients work somewhere, right? Hopefully, because usually you need a job to buy something. And I don't know, maybe not. Lottery did just happen. The whole point is that you have a network of people that work in the local community, and most of you don't have any idea where the client actually works. I started going through my client list, asking the question, hey, do you mind me asking, what do you do for a living? And I found out my clients are executives in different businesses that support the Southern Nevada community. And so 2 things came to me from this. Number one, I have a resource of people that I can go to for help and service that can benefit my clients and my real estate business.
I got a guy list.
I got a guy list. And the nice part is the guy that I'm helping is one that's helping me, because if I help them make more money in their business, hopefully they're going to buy more real estate, right? But at least I know that if I'm sending them business, if they buy with another agent, they're going to feel really weird about it, right? The other thing is that all of these businesses employ what? People, and I'm looking for people to sell things to. And so all of these major businesses, if they are a major business or a small business, most of them have HR departments. Now, I was shocked when I went through my client list that I have some people that work for some pretty large companies. We're talking thousands of employees, and what they do is they relocate those employees across the country. And so each of them have an HR manager that is helping with that relocation process. 2 ways that a person uses a relocation company. Either the company signs up with the relocation company and they have their list of agents that they work with, which doesn't mean you can't be part of that. You can still go and get on these lists of those companies. The other way is by the client selecting that person to participate in their relocation. So we have an example here that just happened this last week. Client is moving through a major relocation company. They said, this is the agent I want. The relocation company said, no problem. They still have to interview 2 other agents, but you can tell them we want to use this person. They put them into the system. That person got the lead, and now they're selling the property. My whole point of it is that you have all of the resources you need to connect with a large group of people that will positively impact your business, and all you have to do is ask the question, what do you do? And how can I help your business grow, right? Newsletters. One of the other great thing about newsletters and small businesses is they need marketing for free. And you as a real estate agent are happy to put out some marketing if it generates a deal. And so I have multiple examples of a real estate agent who helped a person who has a home-based business by saying, hey, this is my client. They're amazing. They just started this business. Here's an example of their product. Here's how you get a hold of them. And it's pretty cool how you, just by doing that, can flourish their small business and create a client for life.
I also have on my newsletter, I do a vendor spotlight, which is kind of cool, so that the vendor gets an opportunity, whether they want to do a video or just send some image or whatever about their business, because they've already been approved as a vendor with the team, and so I have a vendor spotlight. The thing with the concierge list, I will tell you, the I Got a Guy list, I've had clients that have called me and like, hey, I know this isn't on your list, and I know it's not real estate, but do you know anybody who does eyelash extensions? I'm like,
I do.
But but the thing is I've become such a resource for them for almost everything that they call me for everything. Yes. Here, I got a guy list. You ever reach out to your vendors and ask them to give a discount on their service? Yes. Yeah. And so when you do videos or you do, you do any vendor spotlights on your newsletter, that can be something that you put on there. Make sure you tell them that you got their information from me so that you can get access. Because that's one of the biggest selling points is that these vendors want them to utilize their services. And if you have a little, discount that they can offer based off of that, it's great. Yeah, absolutely.
You want to go? You want me to go? I got another one.
I mean,
I have a short one.
piggybacked off of yours, but yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Okay, so I have an agent that I know of, and this you have to be very careful with, and I'm going to show you the way to do it, not the way to wrong do it. But what we know to be true is that a client's going to get sold a house, and their agent probably, when they don't work here, isn't going to call them again. What do you know about the client when they purchase that house that you have common knowledge about when it happens? You know their name, you know the address they purchased, and the time they purchased it in. You also have information of what they bought it for, what the information on the home itself, their mortgage specifics in most cases, because you were part of that transaction. The funny thing is, I have 2 or 3 friends that market the agent on the other side after closing by celebratory emails and mailers. So 6-month anniversary on the purchase of your home, 1-year anniversary on the purchase of your home, 3-year anniversary on the purchase of your home.
AKA a house anniversary.
Yeah, house anniversary. And so they send out these cards, but they don't just make it a context of the anniversary of the home. They actually help with the renewal of other items because they know that they got a home warranty in the company they got it with. And they can actually look at specific things in the file where they can send out reminders on stuff that's on the house. Vanna brought up a great one, and that was the property tax. These are examples of things that you could send to somebody that's on that list because the deal is now over. Right? And so it's just another way that you might be able to pick up 2 or 3 deals if you were marketing the facts that you knew of something that has happened. Now, of course, you have to have these past sales to market them, but are they all recorded in the MLS? They are, and we know that most of the time no one's going to call these people. I'll give you another one. New home sites. Do you know that like 80%, and it's probably like 78% truthfully, 70% of the buyers in most of these new home sites are completely unrepresented? And so they have no relationship to an agent that sold them this house. And so one of the best parts I see on this is to market those new home sales on an anniversary status so that you're able to interject yourself where there's no one to fight with, right? Just food for thought.
I mean, sorry, go ahead.
But they show up in the tax record.
So the question was, when you're marketing to people who have new home sales, they don't show up on the MLS. They show up on tax records is the answer. And the other thing is, by the way, if you are selling new homes, please put those in the MLS. You can actually get credit for them on the MLS. There is a way to do it in the back office. It is it's not called that. It's called a comp only sale or something like. No. Yeah, comp only. No. I know, but that's not what it's called when you go in the, like, I want to be specific.
Hey, you don't know what it's called.
I know what it's called. It's called a comp only sale.
Okay.
So when you go in and you do add edit, you do comp only sale within the last, I want to say it's like 10 days of closing, you can actually input the information. It's standard information. You don't need a whole listing like you would, put in a brand new listing. But if you're the buyer on that property, put it in the MLS. You get credit for it. It shows up as something. So when you're doing comps, if you click on comp only, or it'll actually pull up those comparables for you for this property, so you don't have to do an additional search on tax records. So be kind to your fellow realtors.
Be kind, please.
Please. All right. So next, coffee. Free coffee. So, no. I mean, yeah, we have free coffee here. Coffee shops. There are several coffee shops that are coming up here in town. And so this is something that we've actually tried as a team. We've had somebody that's done it, that has had decent success with it, and also not so much. It just depends, but it's consistency. Everything you do is consistency. So go to a coffee shop. You can buy 25 $5 gift cards. You have a seat, you go get yourself a coffee, you open up your computer, you get some work done at the coffee shop. They've got free Wi-Fi. Most of them have free Wi-Fi. You sit down, you give the gift cards to the actual salesperson behind the counter, and you say, the next 25 people who walk in, please gift them coffee on me. And let them know I'm sitting right there. And so when they're done having the coffee, whatever, they order it. They say, hey, this is from Vandana, who's sitting right there, as a thank you for coming into the coffee shop, whatever. They come over, they say thank you. If they don't, they're buttheads. but they come and say thank you. I was going to say other things, but we've got compliance officer in here. So they come say thank you to you, and you just start having a discussion with them. Just overall, again, this is a matter of making contacts. You're not necessarily selling them a house right then, but if you could get one home out of it, it's worth the 25 gift cards that you just purchased.
I could go to McDonald's and do it with McMuffins.
You could do McMuffins. You could do it with ice cream.
Because they're only $1 a piece.
This is just, yeah. You could do it with just anything. You could do it with anything.
If you see me at McDonald's, don't even go up to the counter.
There, yeah, the McDonald dollar clients. Is
I
what you're gonna
think.
get.
The
I mean,
funny-
I will tell you, I will go get an ice cream from there, but I won't do anything.
I can't
else.
tell you how many times I've hosted a 100 contact challenge where you got to ask 100 people
Yeah.
to buy sell. No one has ever come back and said, I went to a Starbucks and I spoke to 50 people by giving them coffee. I mean, what a great idea.
I know.
I'm
full of
I'm
them.
glad I came today because of that one idea.
Yeah. So you want to do the 100 contact challenge again? I mean,
Yeah.
I say we do it.
We're going to fill up every Starbucks and McDonald's in
What is
town.
it? October 17th by October 31st? You think we get people to do 100?
I think we have to do it like in November. We'd have to do it in
So
November.
full month of November?
Yes, I think that'd be a lot of fun.
So November 1st to November. Anybody here want to do it? 100 contacts. Don't get scared, Tyson.
He's like,
Don't
you had
get
me
scared."
at McMuffin.
He was like, 100 contacts. No, we're not doing McDonald's. 100 contacts for the month of November. Tanya,
Yay.
your name. Mariah.
Petra will do it.
Okay, Petra. Who else?
Are,
Atta girl.
Are we talking
And
about the whole
Tyson.
month or in
the
one
whole
day?
month.
Oh, okay.
Well, no. Do you want to do 100 contacts
In a day. That's the point. In a day. It's a challenge to do them in a day. Yeah. I just lost.
You've lost the
I lost
entire
everybody.
room.
All right, let's move on. We'll come back to that.
The entire month. We've got 4 people that are going to do it. 100 contacts.
I think that's great.
the month.
That's great.
All right. You guys are going to follow up next month.
That's not
about
the
it.
challenge on my list though, but that's okay.
Whatever. Okay, go. Next.
Okay, last one that I'm going to leave you with because I think it's that good. And if you have any questions on the ones we've told you, please ask. Okay, so who here likes to collect junk? You know that you go to garage sales on a regular basis and buy
I ain't
crap
got
you
time
don't need.
for that.
I'm going to tell you a quick story. I went to a listing appointment with this lady, and I don't know her. I'd never met her before. She had called a friend of mine who referred her to me. Basically, she's selling this house that her brother lived in, and she's got to get rid of all the belongings. And so I go over for the listing appointment, which just so happened to be during the yard sale. Okay. And what do you do as a good real estate agent trying to get the deal is I bought a bunch of junk I don't need. And so by this point, we haven't even done the deal yet, and I've already given her $200 of my money for crap, okay? And so we go through the listing appointment. I do all the right things. I pre-qualified the client. I'd done all the right questions. I didn't get the listing. And then I have to go home with all this junk in my car and tell my wife that I bought it from the client that I went to do it with. But the whole point was every weekend and every week in Las Vegas, there are yard sales all around the valley that are publicized by the consumer. And why do you usually have a yard sale? You're moving, you're looking to declutter, you have a change in life, someone went off to college, something happened. And so the whole point is you have people that are marketing, my life is changing, come talk to me, right? But a word of advice, don't take any money with you when you go. But the
Or
whole
limit
point,
the money that
or
you
limit
take
the
with
money.
you.
I got some really good crap, okay? It was worth it. But the whole point is I didn't get the listing, so I should have agreed to buy the stuff after we talked. But anyway, great way to do it. The other one is moving storage facilities. Someone had told me this a long time ago, and I thought, nah, that doesn't make sense. Who runs storage facilities usually when you go there? Remember? It's usually someone who lives at the facility. They don't have a lot of friends because they live at a storage facility. And so I go in and I make tons of friends that way. Like I find out about them, how long have you been here? Because that's one of the benefits is
Like a
the
new
manager.
on-site sales rep.
Yeah, you get housing as part of your compensation package right there at the storage facility. And so I go in, introduce myself to that person, let them know I'm a real estate agent. Why do people get storage facilities a lot of the time? Because they're moving. Like my wife and I religiously, when we move, the first thing we did is we get a storage unit and we take everything we don't want to put in a moving truck and we put it in that unit. And then all that's left is the furniture. And then when we move into the house, we go back to the storage unit, or at least I do, and I pull all that crap out and I move it back into my house. If that person there is my coordinating factor to get me in and out with those people, it's a great way to find 1 or 2 deals throughout the year that you wouldn't have had because you didn't have it.
Okay. Also, some of you have had buyers that have actually purchased homes and they've closed on those properties. Yeah? Okay. What about throwing a housewarming party for them? What? Because you're going to be invited to it now? Hopefully. And guess what happens? When you get invited to parties, they invite their friends. and they already like you, they already trust you, they've already purchased a home with you, the chances of them referring you to their clients is high. And now you're in their home, their new home, hosting the party for them, whether it's the taco guy or you brought booze. I'm looking at the compliance guy, whatever it may be. But if you do that, now you have an opportunity to go meet all of their friends and the people that could also buy homes from you. So we've got a minute left.
Yes.
I'm done. You're done. So what I'd like to do,
I'm
sorry.
not done.
Yeah, I was just about to do that because I was going to tell him no more. Yeah, open it up. Go ahead. Yeah. No. How many celebrate Halloween?
Hey, Shelly, do me a favor. Come up here with the microphone so people can hear you. Huh?
Why didn't he? Because he bought
You know,
too
I
much.
asked that question too. I was
He
like,
got $200 worth.
what happened?
All right. How many of you celebrate Halloween? Oh, there's our compliance guy. Sorry. Hi, Dave. 2%? 3? Okay.
What do you mean by
so,
celebrate?
how many of you
I have.
open the door and hand out candy? Okay, maybe that's a better. Okay, how many of you take your children around and let them get candy? Okay, so 70% of Americans actually celebrate Halloween. So here's a thought. How many of you farm your neighborhood? 0? 2. People farm, okay, maybe that would be one thing to start doing is to farm your neighborhood. One of the things would be to do a social event for your parents. For the parents, not your parents. So do a cookout. So maybe it's you do hot dogs. Maybe that might be weird, hot dogs and hamburgers or whatever it may be for the parents. The other thing would be drinks. Maybe you have hot cider or hot toddy there to give to the parents. Or shots of tequila. The other thing would be maybe a contest, a giveaway of, hey, would you take a picture of the best decorated home and text it to this number? You're going to be entered into this giveaway. What did you just get? Contact, yeah. Or best candy that the neighborhood gave away, whatever it may be. So just food for thought. That just popped up when you said Halloween. Yeah.
I'm not done yet. I have Janet stuff. First off, we hope you enjoyed the information we shared with you. I hope it generates 1 or 2 deals. The title guy's the only guy clapping. I have a problem here. We hope you enjoyed it. I have the list of my 75. I'm going to send it out to anyone who needs it. Just put it, message to me in the app, and I'll send it back to you. The Tom Ferry information that I talked about in the beginning, I'm going to put it on our signature Facebook page so that you have it. You can go back, and it's an amazing article on the blog that they did. Just want to remind everybody about Ryan's class after this, Horror Stories with Ryan in the Dark. And you can hear the spooky sounds up above as he's talking. And then please don't forget, we do have our trunk or treat coming up on the 26th out at the Green Valley office. So if you're looking for some free candy and a good time, come on out and enjoy us.
And one of the things Janet did not mention about the general membership, there is a bylaws change that's happening. So if you are not going to the general membership meeting, please get your proxy vote in with somebody who is for those bylaws so that you can be a part of that. And I gave Janet mine because I won't be there, but.
Janet's going to vote your heart.
Yeah.
So guys, thank you so much for your time today. Don't forget the sales meeting is recorded, so you can go back and watch it if you want to listen to any of the fun jokes that Vaughn and I made. If you have any questions about what we talked about, please reach out. We're happy to provide the information. And thank you, Vaughn, for being here, and thank all of you. Have a great day.
Bye.